Yes, I love this land. It takes my breath away.
To be on ours.
Well, we're at a crossover here.
We're the
at
parents.
a crossroads.
We're the parents.
Yes.
Welcome to Texas 10 and to
Compleo Wellness.
And yes, we are related. So if you can't tell, Kelsey is our daughter, my daughter. I mean, we look a lot alike. But we're here today.
Well, who's the guy at the end?
Oh, he's just the son-in-law.
I'm just chilling.
But he's necessary for the topic of the day.
Yeah, kids.
Yes.
He's the reason you have grandchildren to travel with.
And we are eternally grateful. I just want you to know that, Warren.
You're welcome.
Really are. We have great grandkids. They have amazing children because they're our grandkids. And we're here today to talk about traveling with kids.
So we love, Mr. Compleo and I, we love to road trip. I got that from y'all, I think. It's a little bit easier sometimes, especially with younger kids, to travel where you can make stops and you don't have to be on a strict agenda. If we have a meltdown in an airport, it's a little bit more challenging. And so we, with some tips from y'all as our stops, have loved taking, especially our 5-year-old, on road trips across Texas and outside of Texas.
Right. And it's Texas 10. We love to travel and we encourage you to get off the highways and get on the road.
Well, and she's talking about stopping, and that's something that I learned early. Actually, when she was a child, we were traveling down I-35, and maybe you can tell the story.
Well, she was always hungry, and Steve was all about safety, which we can talk about too. And he had it, and he would not stop anymore. And so he would not let me get her out of the car seat, and I had to feed
Never
her.
take a baby out of the car seat.
Especially while the car's moving.
Right.
Yes, which is a good thing. So I made do, and I leaned over to feed her, and about that time a big truck came by. So that is a tip, you know.
That's it. The expert?
So
what would you say about that?
I would say now you should not breastfeed your child while the car's in motion.
You didn't say that when you were 6 months old, though.
Well, I didn't have my doctorate degree then.
Okay.
I will say it can sometimes be challenging to travel with infants, but there are some great tips so that even with a baby, you can have a great road trip.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is the length of the trip.
The length of the trip, or just making sure you're breaking it up and stop. So we've been traveling with Ford since, how old was he when we went to Galveston? Like a month, 2 months?
Yeah.
So we've been taking road trips with Ford since he was 2 months old. One, never promise that you're going to be somewhere by a certain time. So we just told them we're going to get there when we get there.
And we were fine with that.
Y'all were fine with that, yes. 2, you definitely want to take them out at least at minimum every 3 hours. You want to stay on the normal feeding schedule. And that's not just stopping the car. And this is good for all ages.
Well,
Take
see,
a
it's
lap
great for
around the car.
grandparents, too, because 3 hours is actually longer than we normally go before we have to pull over. So that's not hard. That's not hard when we have the grandkids.
Every 2 to 3 hours, make sure, we always try to time stops. If you have older kids, you want to time your stops with somewhere where they can get movement and activity out. And so we try to either find a playground or we go inside to eat at the restaurant. We don't go through the drive-through and eat in the car. We get the whole family out of the car. Find rest stops with playgrounds. Quanta, Texas has the best rest stop.
I was just going to ask you about that. They told us, we're all about Texas, and Quanta, Texas is a little town up in the Panhandle. And
287.
And Kelsey said they have, bar none, the best rest stop ever, right?
Yeah. What did you say?
The best one that we've been to.
The best one that we've been to. So comment below if you
For
have
kids.
Right, yes.
if you have some ideas.
Let us
But
know
for
your
kids,
favorite Texas rest stop.
That would be a good Texas rest stop.
We could do a
great
top
coffee
10
table book right there.
There you go.
So
those are some great
stopping.
steps, some great hints, especially for infants. Talk about when they're older. Scotty is 5, and anywhere from those ages of 3 to 10, we used to go every year. We would pick up the girls from camp, and then we would drive from the hill country to Destin, Florida. And so back in the day, we did not have electronics. And so I used to put together activity boxes. What do you kids do these days?
I did just that. We try really hard not to rely heavily on screens. Usually how it works for us is on the way there, we can keep them entertained with some new surprises and activity boxes. And on the way back, we do definitely end up with some movies on the iPad. We definitely wait until we've kind of hit the limit to pull out the iPad because once he has it, he doesn't want to give it up. So if you let them watch that iPad when you're pulling out of that driveway, they're going to be on that iPad the entire 12-hour drive wherever you're going. So we save it until we just really, really need it.
Until I just can't take it
until
anymore.
We just can't take the.
When Dad's ready to drive the thing off a bridge, that's when you break out the iPad.
Well, I would
That's a
tell
good
you,
choice.
They still have these. I think you guys need to find. We used to have bingo cards. Do you remember the bingo? And
Yep,
they
the
slide.
slide.
And that's a great way to get your kids to look out the window.
So we play a lot of I Spy.
Mhm.
We play a lot of Would You Rather.
Play a lot of Would You Rather.
The Would You Rather got quite intense.
So it's interesting that the age of the kid when it's appropriate, because like the bingo for a 3-year-old probably
Right,
isn't
right.
going to work. So what would you say is the ages when you can get those sort of games going?
We kind of just started I Spy. We hit about last year. I would say around 4. We got I Spy going. Going to Santa Fe was when he really fell in love with I Spy. So he was 4.5. The bingo probably they have to a lot of times be able to read, or if you do the picture bingo. So I would say about 6 and up is when you're going to start looking at the bingo. 4 or 5, I Spy. Would you rather? Would you rather be a shark or a whale? Or what were some of the ones that Scotty came up with?
It was man, we've hit a poop and pee joke.
Yeah, we have
That
big
was,
time.
it was a lot of that, a lot of potty jokes.
A lot of potty jokes.
So another thing is, when you're on a road trip, you're together, and it gives you opportunities to get to know each other. We love music. And so I think one of the things I would suggest is put together some different playlists. And that way you can have mom and dad playlists and let us introduce you to someone new. And then you can also have kids, but it's not the kid music all the time.
Yes, you had an epic playlist ready to go for every trip we went on. I think that was.
And so a shout out. I think a group that crosses over that is one of our favorite groups of all time because the adults love them and the kids
Trout
love them.
Fishing in America.
Bingo.
Yes.
I was just going to say that they are awesome. Shout out to Ezra and Keith. They are amazing. It's a duo. They have kids songs that are funny, and then they have adult songs too. And so,
and on the way to Austin last week, Scotty got introduced to kids podcasts. So and we found a great joke one that he loved. It told funny stories. And so kids podcasts are another great way. And as they get a little bit older, they can work on kind of their listening skills. You can ask questions about it. And so we definitely try to just have a variety of things ready to go. We love the little games with like magnets where they can make magnet scenes, the water art that's not going to make a mess in the car, but they can watercolor on. So I always just try to have, this year we got one of the little tables that goes over his car seat so he could do his art while he drives. And I just don't introduce everything at once. You just save it. You just dole it out throughout the trip. And so that's kind of our favorite preparation things other than just not having too high of expectations. I think that's the...
So let me ask Mr. Compleo, because what's the age difference between you and your brothers?
I got 18 months and 4 years.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because Kelsey and her sister Kendall, who we traveled with,
we're 6 years.
6 years apart. Scotty and Ford are 5 years apart. And that actually seems easier to me. Yes. Right. So when you've got 3 rambunctious boys within 4 years of each other, what do you do to...
I mean, the way we did it when we were growing up, first of all, is we had a motorhome and you could easily separate the three of us. And that had to happen frequently. And that's really the trick, was it would just segregate us, lock one of us in a bathroom, one of us in the bedroom, and one of us up front, and that would be it for a couple hours.
I can relate. I am one of 4 girls, and my dad drove sedans, and back in those days there were 2 bench seats in the front and in the back, and I can remember a lot of fights of, she crossed the line, she's touching me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does bring that out. So let's talk about, we love Texas. What are some of your favorite spots that you think would be great for kids?
Great for kids that are not line standing places. Like obviously
definitely not line standing
Six
places.
Flags and Schlitterbahn, those are all great places, but you gotta gear up for that. So it depends on the kid a little bit. We'll take Scotty, for instance. He loves to be outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
He loves to run and all that. So any open field would be great for Scotty.
I was thinking Dinosaur Valley. I was thinking Glen Rose.
Right.
Well,
that would be good.
He hasn't gotten to do that yet.
I was thinking the freshwater fisheries in Athens.
Oh, he loves that.
Well,
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So what were sort of his reactions there?
He was pretty young. So,
Yeah.
I mean, his reactions, he just likes being outside. So that's cool. He likes trying to catch the fish. I mean, he's still pretty young, so he doesn't have the patience. You've got maybe 15, 20 minutes before he wants to go on to something else. Mm-hmm. He likes seeing the exhibits, they got some aquariums and stuff there that you can see at the Freshwater Fisheries Center. And he loved seeing that. I think they had a few gators. He's interested in that stuff too. Like he loves animals. So if it's got animals involved, he'll check it out.
Look and think about what your kids' interests are. And every town, whether it's small or big, there's something for them to do. Brenham, Texas, take them to the ice cream factory. So there's just a lot to do, and think about your kids. Now, so we've talked about the young kids. What do you guys think as they get older? Those kind of pre-teenage or teenage years where they're like, you're making me go on a road trip and I have to be in a car with my parents for 6 hours. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
12,
Also the Bluebell
13.
Factory.
Also the Bluebell. Yeah, Bluebell Factory. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream?
What are our memories of when they were older? I mean, we don't have to plan for them as much, but
I'm sure we were always perfect.
Yeah, pretty much.
Weren't we lucky?
So one thing I would say is actually one of you, maybe not the driver, has to pay attention to when kids complain and make a distinction between they're complaining to complain and they're actually sick.
That's a good
Oh, that's
one.
definitely Kelsey.
Yeah. Yeah, we were guilty. Poor thing. She told us she was sick and we didn't believe her. We just kept making her. She was maybe 12, 10, 12.
Yeah, I threw up at the top of the mountain.
She did. So yeah, listen to your kids. And she did have strep throat. So I'm still really sorry about that.
I do think that does bring a good point, though, whether you're traveling in Texas or somewhere else, the importance of, if you are going to go up in elevation, acclimating with kids. It's important for anyone to hydrate while you're traveling, but
I'm sorry. Just remember the hydrating the first time we went to Colorado.
Maybe not every 5 minutes.
Right.
Then you get to stop a lot more than every 3 hours. She would not let us stop drinking water, and we were in every gas station.
It was an IV drip of water.
But we didn't get altitude
Right.
sickness.
Well, but I think actually the key there is maybe to think about that a day or two before the trip, as opposed to trying to get, I don't know, a case of water in the last 2 hours.
So that does bring up a very good point that I do every time we travel with Scotty. We do try to limit non-water drinks, but before we're in the car, the day leading up, I do only allow water. And I make sure he always has a water bottle in his cup holder, because whether you're going up in elevation or not, dehydration is definitely something that can happen easily while you're traveling. So especially young kids, I really pay attention to the hydration. I always try to have some snacks that aren't junk food in the car, because that's also, I was real prepared on the way up, and we had some apples and non-junk food snacks, and he did great. And on the way down, he got car sick, and he had been having non-water and junk. And
it's always harder coming back.
Right.
You just stop, get a donut, and start.
On the way up, you're so prepared.
Right.
But on the...
I'm going to say two things. I think we really raised you well. but two,
Yeah.
she's kind of smarter than we are when it comes to kids.
And she
traveling.
learned from the hardships we imposed on her.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. I didn't really think it through that much. I did the activity boxes, yes,
I'm
but
sure y'all are surprised that I overthink all of it.
No, we're not surprised.
I'm glad someone's doing it because I wouldn't have.
Right. Okay, so I've got a question for you because, like we talked about, we would do the summer trip to Destin, and a lot of times we would stop in a hotel on the way there, but then we would do the whole drive back, 13, 14, 15 hours coming back. What's the limit by age? Like I think back, like if you've got Ford in a car seat for 15 hours, that doesn't seem
that's not
right.
gonna work.
So
Yeah, we stop on the way there and back. And we even did that last year with Scotty at 4. I think really, as long as you're making the stops to get them out of their car seats, there's not necessarily like a limit. We kind of always tell our patients, patients will get really worried because they're like, oh, you talked about tummy time and all these things. Can we go on a road trip? Absolutely. You can go on a road trip. Experiences are so important for your family. And you just know for those 2 days in the car, you're going to get more screen time, less floor time, all of that. So it's more what the parents are willing to tolerate, because the longer you go, the more likely you're going to have tears and frustrations and all of that in the back seat. I would kind of say if we get over about 8 hours in a day, would you say is when they just both really started to lose it?
Yeah, that's also when I start to lose it.
We try not to go more than 8 hours, I would say, but you're going to know your kids, and this is where you kind of have to look at how your kids are handling it. And this is when you have to be willing to be flexible. Maybe you thought you could make it all the way home and you're pulling off into a hotel. I think the most important travel tip for kids that made our trip to Colorado so much easier is I packed all of our stuff in one bag for the night at the hotel. So we didn't have to unload absolutely everything. Or if you're worried about your stuff, you at least don't have to open every suitcase. So we, on the way there and back, we had one bag with pajamas and toothbrushes and a change of clothes for every person, because it's hard enough to get your kids inside.
Right, Mr. Compleo could have an accident. So,
we're grandparents, and we really haven't started traveling much with Scotty yet. We're ready to. You had great experiences traveling with your grandparents.
Amazing.
So what tips do you think that grandparents need to hear, especially that separation from mom and dad? And how long should, what ages can you start taking trips away from mom and dad? Because we're pretty ready.
We're ready too. Take them.
So what's
a
your
month
thought on
or
that?
what?
I mean, I was going away to camp for a month, not too long from his age. So I would say there's a couple things, and some of it is going to depend a little bit. So it's a little bit different for y'all because y'all see him regularly because you live in the same city. So one is how used to the grandparents are them. If they live really far away and they see him once a year versus all the time, there might be some adjustments there. Definitely knowing their routine, because when kids get out of their routine and get way less sleep than usual, a lot of times that's when behaviors come out because they don't know how to express I'm tired, I'm hungry, those types of things. So knowing their sleep routines, knowing all their favorite foods, kind of what the parents' rules are around screen time and things, so they don't take advantage of you. I
They
think
might do that.
They might do
Kids
that.
are smart.
Kids are smart. So knowing
you actually weren't too shrewd about that. You basically followed the rules, but kids have gotten more sly.
Yes, our 5-year-old's very sly. But I think in preparation beforehand is really important. That's important for all younger kids, is preparing them for what's coming and kind of talking to them about that. Because even if they're really excited, they still might not put together, oh, I'm spending this many nights away from mom and dad. So I would say those are the biggest thing, is knowing their normal routines and kind of preparing them leading up to it.
Right. So you ready for road trips?
I'm ready to road trip. And so where are we going to road trip in Texas to with Scotty?
I would like to take Scotty to Garner National Park.
There you go.
Yeah, or it says a National State
Park.
Garner State Park. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
It is beautiful. I love it down there. And
or
dinosaur. And the other thing is, don't look for just the big trips. Do some day trips. I'm ready to. We're very close to Glen Rose. I think we need to pick a Saturday and go to Dinosaur Valley, and I think you would
You
love
can do the
that.
safari thing there.
You know, I will say it's also funny. Steve and I have been traveling the state, and I am sad to tell you we didn't do that as often with our kids. And I remember when we went to McDonald Observatory, I said to Steve, why did we not bring our kids here? And so I think sometimes when you have young kids, you're just so involved in work and you plan one big vacation and you think it's got to be far away. I want to encourage you, if you live here in Texas or wherever you live, but we're talking to our Texas travelers, pick a day. Take a day and just do a short little road trip. It's great for the kids too to get used to traveling, and it doesn't always have to be a really long trip.
Well, and if you live in Texas, you can take a really long trip and still be in Texas.
Yeah, I think Scotty loves that. Warren is going to take him camping. He and I just went to Austin for the day. Definitely just exploring the world around them is really great. And in terms of getting, one thing that was super helpful to us when we were driving through Texas was we would just text y'all and say, we landed in this random town. Do you know a restaurant here? So once all the field guides, when y'all get those up and going, I think those are an amazing resource for families traveling, because my biggest advice is to get out of the car. Then you end up in this tiny town and you're like, well, there's not even a restaurant here. And a lot of those.
But there is. There almost always is.
So being able to reference y'all's information has been really helpful for us as we've been driving through the state. Y'all have had some great recommendations.
And some that weren't so great. So, but it's great, you know, because things do change. But anyway, well, I think that's a great, were you going to say something?
Yeah, the other thing I was going to pitch was our state parks.
Yes.
We have an incredible state park system, and I think they are underutilized, although, and it goes back to what you're saying about we didn't take advantage of them. Whenever we see kids camping with their parents or grandparents. At the start of our adventure, we went to Caprock Canyon State Park, which is gorgeous. They've got the bison herd of Texas, which is really cool to see. If you're a little person and you see up
Big
close
bison.
in the wild, it's not just behind a zoo door.
Scotty to do that.
It's pretty impressive. And I remember seeing a couple, and they had somebody the age of 4 in their hiking the trails and whatnot. I thought that's really cool. So take advantage of our state parks because they're awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those are our top tips. Be prepared, hydrate, and definitely stay active. Think about their interests, and you'll have a great time traveling from a young age.
Right. And who is the best at the license plate game?
You.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I wanted that admission before we ended.
Okay.
The license plate game is awesome.
What you do is you try to find as many license plates from across the United States as possible.
All 51 of them.
He loves that game.
He does love that game. Still, to this day.
Still, I play the license plate game.
God bless me. Because
Nobody
I
will
still
compete
travel
against
with
me,
Steve.
though. But
yeah,
yes.
because there's
Washington,
other things.
D.C.
Oh. Okay, so follow us on all of our handles for us. Go to texas10.com for our field guides. We're working on that website. You can go to YouTube, find Texas 10 there. On our Instagram, it's Texas 10 Podcast. Facebook's Texas 10.
Just look for Texas 10, TEN.
Yeah. And then Compleo
Wellness YouTube channel. You can find all sorts of tips and tricks. And then on Instagram, you can find us at Compleo Kids and Compleo Wellness.
And we just encourage you to get out on the road. Just because you have small children, that's no excuse. There's lots to see and do.
Road Warriors!
Yeah.
You, and I love this land. It takes my breath away. From the Palo Duro to the Gulf Coast plain. From the heart of the hill country to the piney wood shade. I love this land. It takes my breath away.
Done.
That's a weak slate, but that's okay.
It's a fun slate. It's a fun.
What it is a small hand slate.
You know what? The world didn't. Yes, I got small hands. That's right.